one thing that why it's important, because we already known that there are lots of hindrance regarding the agricultural production. So we already known that the whole country is depends on the agricultural production. So that's why the production is required to save for present generation, also for the future. So, but the main problem is to how it will be going to reduce, because the main problem is they have pest, and in between the pest, weed govern lots of the amount to reduce the yield. So near about 45% alone weed responsible to reduce the yield compared to the others pest. So that's why weed management is one of the important point. How to manage the weeds, because we already known that weed is one dangerous factor. By using one method, it's not possible to control the weed. And day by day, if we use that one method, suppose any one method, use of chemical methods, there are lots of methods are present: chemical methods, cultural methods, biological methods, physical methods. So any one method is not possible to recommend in any place, because if you use continuously one method, so weed can develop, as per their ecology, weed can develop the resistance against these methods. So it will be dominant against the chemicals. So generally now in this generation, lots of practices depends on the application of chemical, because it's too much easy to handling. But the dangerous factor is weed can develop the resistance against these chemicals. So we require to use combinedly. This concept is called integrated weed management. Integrated weed management, it's a we can say that weed population management system. How to manage the weed population? So weed population, it's a weed population management system by combining lots of methods together to maintain the weed population below the economic threshold level. Economic threshold level means the level or the population those not creates any harmful effect or not creates the economic losses. So we all time keeping in mind that the population will be below the economic threshold level. Why? Because some weed population also required, because this is also what can I say? This is also responsible to increase the organic matters. So that's why some population is also important. Uh, Now we can now the next. Okay, now the components of integrated weed management. Components means the methods, those we require to combine to perform the integrated weed management. Integrated. That's why it's required to use more than one method in a compatible way. Okay, all the technology will be compatible with each other, not will be the competitive. So there are lots of methods are present: cultural methods, physical methods, biological methods, and chemical methods. And these methods, any two, we can combine together. That's called integrated weed management. And that will be one thing that it's also shown that by combining these methods, it will be control the weeds effectively and also economically. Next. So now, why it's required integrated weed management? That's I already told that one method is not sufficient to control the weed in every places, or maybe one method is perform well in one place. It's not meanings that this method will be performing all the places in a good way. And one thing is that if we use one single herbicides, so there have a chances to shifting of the weed flora, or there have a chances to reduces some weed population and to playing role dominant of some weed population in a place, and that's develop the resistance against this factor. So that's why there I am also given one prominent example that in our Indo-Gangetic plants, there the one cropping system is prevailing. This is rice wheat cropping system. So by use continuously every years in Kharif season rice, in Rabi season wheat, what will be the problems arising? The detrimental factor environment is established, because in rice we already know the associated wheat is echinocloa. If in every times every seasons rice is going, means in every kharif season every year rice is going, so echinocloa will be come predominantly, because the environment is already established. And after that in Rabi season, if wheat will become, then wheat associated with fowler is minor. And not only the wheat, the what can I say? the insect uh, in rice stem borer, in wheat aphids, it will be come profusely. So but our concern factor is here wheat, how to control the wheat. So in case of wheat, fungicide minor is predominantly will come. So by use of the herbicide, one herbicide isoproteron continuously used continuously year after year. So fungicide minor reported resistance against isoproteron. So that's why isoproteron is now banned, going to ban, and already it's banned due to develop the resistance. So that's why we not required to maintain any one chemicals or any one methods in one place repeatedly. Against this, we require to use methods, lots of methods combinedly, or we can say changing the methods to resist these types of problems. Next, next slide. Second, open next slide. Okay, so now the concept of integrated weed management. We already know that integrated weed management means we can use combinedly all the methods in a compatible manner. But the most important objective or point is here, it's all time keep in mind that this by adopting this technology, yield will be required to give optimum, because if the yield is not optimum, or it will be also happening at a minimum cost, means it's required to give profit. Because if any technology you develop but there are no any profit, so farmers are not accepted. So that's why the main concept of IWM or integrated weed management is it will be profitable. Next slide. So, what are the character required to maintain or required to present if the integrated weed management playing role in a better way? So, first one character will be present or required that it will be flexible. This management procedure will be flexible all time to incorporate any innovation, any times by scientists maybe, or maybe the by farmers, because farmers also have a lots of knowledge. We already know that farmer also called that it's also scientist. So if the farmers traditional knowledge also required to incorporate in any place where we require to go the application of integrated weed management procedures. And side by side, one thing keep in mind that on which farm we require to go for application integrated weed management. So the management would be cover all the farm, not only it will be bound in one or two field, because if it is completed or manage the wheat population in one field, so there will be chances to calm the wheat from the roadside or from the irrigation channels or from the other side fields. So that's why we require to cover all the areas under this management procedures, and side by side it will be economically flexible or feasible and viable. It's good. These characters are required for a good management, integrated management of wheat procedures. Next slide. Now, what are the advantages? What are the advantages of integrated wheat management? So, there are lots of advantages compared to the disadvantages. Lots of advantages are present in this procedure. The advantages are there are one term that crop weed competition, because weeds compete with crops for the same resources, means solar radiant, water, nutrients, carbon dioxide, everything those required for crops. It's also required for wheat, but weeds playing role as a dominator and suppress the growth of the crop without interfering what can I say any without interfering any human beings. So that's why this crop with competition, it will be turned to the favor of the crop by adopting these integrated weed management procedures. And also wheat, there are the what can I say? Lots of types of weeds are present: annual weeds, biennials, and perennials. So perennial weeds are most dangerous. Why? Because they will flourish by lots of way. Also through the propagated through the what can I say vegetative parts, through the seeds. That's why it we require to concise, or we require to bound the weeds, those not shifting towards perennial nature. Otherwise, it will be too much difficult to control, and also prevent the resistance of against herbicides by weed. Otherwise, in integrated weed management, the use the amount use of herbicides is going to reduce. So that's why it will be less polluted the environment. And side by side, due to less use of inputs, the net return or profit will be go to high, surely. And it will be also suitable for adapting high cropping intensity. Okay. Next slide. Now, here I given some examples of different agronomic crops, how to manage the, how to perform the integrated weed management. There are lots of options are present, so we can go through any options. So next slide. Okay. So now integrated weed management practices in transplanted rice. So we already know there are rice cultivation is going in lots of methods, transplanted, upland rice, and also lots of presents. So for transplanted rice, one thing is keep in mind that for weed management, there are one topic is one term is famous, that is critical periods. Critical period means the shortest time span those required to weed free to achieve optimum yield. Okay, that's called critical period of weed control. So in between this time, we require to keep in mind the field should be weed free. So for transplanted rice, if it is days after sowing, then 15 to 45 days after sowing, and if it is days after transplanting, then it will be 20 to 30 days after transplanting. So in this transplanted rice, how we can perform the integrated weed management? So we have lots of options under different methods. So under cultural methods, we can go for submergence because submergence it's puddling. Puddling is a one mandatory operation for transplanted rice to keep the water or to maintain the water for throughout the season. So by adopting puddling or what can I say submergence, it's also itself playing role as a weed management procedure. So that's why in transplanted rice compared to the upland rice, the weed population is all time going to low due to puddling or submergence. Second one is under mechanical method we can use paddy weeder. After that, it's also playing role as a biofertilizer. So it's also incorporate the nitrogen, fix the nitrogen from the atmosphere side by side. If as the surface layer of soil with rice, so it creates a barriers. It creates a barriers for what can I say for weeds for to reduce the germination. And to bridge the gap after adopting these methods, if it is weeds are not controlled properly, so we can go for the herbicide application. So if we go for herbicide application, there are lots of herbicides are present. As a pre-emergence, we can go for pendimethalin. The doses are mentioned here. And if we go for post-emergence, we can go for 2,4-D sodium salt. So in under 2,4-D, there are lots of molecules are present. 2,4-D sodium salt, 2,4-D amine. So sodium salt is good for controlling the weeds after 20 days of transplanting or 30 to 35 days after transplanting. Next, another one is also present. Next, all mix. Okay. Go for the previous slide. So go for the previous slide. Okay. All mix. All mix is now in present generation. There are one herbicide mixer is used in market. It's built by chlorimuron plus metsulfuron. It's called All Mix. It's a company manufactured herbicide mixture. So it's also given lots of what can I say successful report to all types of weeds uh, in transplanted rice field. Thanks. Next. So there have I also given one image that in a pot they're adopting the azola with what can I say rice. So just watch here that one dominant weed Monocoria vaginalis. It's also showing that less on the azola pot with rice, and but in control pot you just watch here that there are lots of Monocoria vaginalis is shown this control body to less due to not present of the azola. And one another loach also one what can I say one fish. So our concern factor is here azola. So azola give good result to control the weeds and side by side fixing the nitrogen in soil. Next, now the another one, rice cultivation is upland rice. Transplanted rice means previously it's transplanted rice. It means it's a, what can I say, anaerobic rice cultivation. But upland rice means aerobic rice cultivation. So for upland rice, the whole entire season is critical period. So full season from first to last we require to free the wheat. So here we can go for lots of options for under cultural method. We can go brown manuring. Brown manuring means, so in between the rice rows, we require to incorporate, we require to sowing the what can I say, dhancha, and after 25 days application of 2,4-D, we kill the dhancha and mix to the soil. That's called brown manuring. Okay. So that's also one good option to control the weeds. Side by side hand weeding under mechanical method there are paddy weeder. Under biological method there are one nematodes, but it's too much. What can I say? Contradictory, because nematodes also affect the rice, also rice, but it's also reported that by, so that's why it's also incorporated in biological methods. And under herbicides, there are also I given the options pendimethalin as a pre-emergence, and under post-emergence you can go for the 2,4-D sodium salt. Same, what can I say? Same recommended dose. Those previously I mentioned in transplanted rice. Next slide. So, for your better understanding purpose, I have also given one data that's by adopting, what can I say, the integrated weed management in upland rice, it's given lots of profits. So, in first plot, you just watched at butachlor by application of butachlor herbicide, side by side brown manuring, and 2,4-D, the net profit is high compared to the other plots. And also side by side, next one followed by pedilachlor plot. Those I mentioned in previous that pedilachlor it's a good options as a integrated weed management playing role under chemical methods. So these are the options, and also BC ratio, benefit cost ratio also high in integrated weed management for brown manuring with herbicides up to 40. Okay, next slide. So in pulse crop, in case of pulse crop, one thing is that pulse crop is also growing fast compared to the cereal crops. So that's why the critical periods is too much less compared to the cereal crops in pulse crops. But first 35 days we require to keep the field weed free. So in this case, how we can go for the weed free as the integrated weed management? So in this case, we can go for hand weeding. If we adopting the herbicide application, in this case we can go for one hand weeding 30 days after sowing. But if we going for the herbicides also, so pre-emergence herbicide we can apply, and then followed by on 30 days we can go for one hand weeding. Otherwise, if we only reliable on hand weeding, so two hand weeding is required on 15 days and 30 days. But if we go for the only hand weeding, it will be too much time taking and labor consuming, so it will be not profitable. So the recommendation is we can go for integrated way herbicides as a pre-emergence, and followed by we can go for one hand. So chemical methods, herbicides I mentioned here with doses pendimethalins as a pre-emergence, or if you go for the pre-planting incorporation as a fluchloride. So next slide. Now the groundnut. So how we can perform in groundnut the integrated weed management, because in groundnut 15 to 45 days after sowing, DS free situation, then we can achieve the high or optimum yield. So in this case, under cultural method, one hand weeding we require to give at 40 or we can say 30 days, anyone based on the situation in practically in field. And after that, under chemical methods, as a pre-emergence, pendimethalin present, also alachlor we can give. And if we go for the PPI, means pre-planting incorporation, we got to go for fluchloride, and then followed by the hand weeding. Next, now the sugar cane. So sugar cane, it's one thing keep in mind that sugar cane is the one time-taking, uh, what can I say, crop. It's present in field lots of times throughout the whole years, and its germination also too much time taking. So that's why we the critical periods is what can I say, too much for sugarcane. 4 to 5 months we require to keep weed free. So how we can keep the wheat free. There are lots of options are present. So we can perform the hand hoeing. So hand hoeing required to hoe required to perform the hoe throughout the furrows to remove the weeds in a shallow depth. And after then in mechanical methods, you can go for the what can I say junior hoe use after few days interval means 25 or 30 days interval. Again we can repeat the procedures 25, 55, 85 in this way. And the herbicides we can go for as a pre-emergence atrazine, because in sugar cane pre-emergence herbicides playing too much crucial role. Why? Because it will take too much time taking for emergence. So in this time we require to keep the weed free situation in field. And after then post-emergence herbicide after at the standing sugarcane crop, we can because we can go for the broad spectrum herbicides, non-selective. Why? Because in sugarcane the space between the rows are high. We have to give high space